Disputes have now intensified between Nepal and India after the Himalayan nation released a new political map of the country by including all the encroached territories by the southern neighbor. The scenario has now mounted pressure on India, which was previously even reluctant to discuss the issue with Nepal. Good morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. Nepal government officially unveils a political and administrative map of Nepal, including all the encroached territories up to Limpiadura, vows to sort out the border dispute with India diplomatically. India says Nepal's new map unacceptable, says Nepal move is against the spirit of diplomatic negotiations to resolve any existing disputes. Number of COVID-19 cases in the country climbs to 444 as 10 new individuals test positive for the virus today. 5 health professionals of a single hospital in Dhankuda infected with COVID-19 yesterday. And heavy rains and winds wreak havoc in parts of eastern India and Bangladesh as the super cyclone Amphan makes landfall. At least 15 dead and millions evacuated. The Nepal government yesterday officially released a new political and administrative map, including Limpiadura, Lipulik and Kalapani, the regions within Nepalese territory encroached by India. Minister for Land Reforms and Management Padma Aryal unveiled the complete map of Nepal amid a press conference organized by the ministry yesterday afternoon. The new political and administrative map of Nepal also includes Gunju and Nabi, the areas excluded in the previous maps. Speaking at the press conference, Minister Aryal said that the new map would be updated in the education curriculum along with the documents related to the political, constitutional and administrative activities. The complete map of Nepal includes 753 local levels and the international borders. Minister Aryal said that the dispute on the border encroachment would be sorted out via diplomatic dialogues with India. The cabinet meeting held this Monday had decided to release a new national map after India started constructing a road link to China's Mansarovar region through Lipulik in Darchula. The government had pledged to return the encroached Nepalese territories in its recently unveiled annual policy and programs as well. Meanwhile, responding to the Nepal's political map, India has announced that the Nepal move is unacceptable. The spokesperson of the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, Anurag Srivastava, has alleged that Nepal has unilaterally included Indian territory in the new map released by Nepal. The Indian spokesperson Srivastava has said that Nepal move is against the spirit of diplomatic negotiations to resolve any disputes between the two nations. Stating that Nepal's new map is what it termed an artificial enlargement, Srivastava said the map was not acceptable to India. Srivastava added that Nepal's assertion on the matter was unjustified despite the insistence of the government of Nepal that the new map was released based on the historical evidences of the Nepal-India border. The press release issued by the Indian Foreign Ministry also states that Nepalese leadership will create a positive atmosphere for diplomatic dialogues to resolve the outstanding border disputes within the two countries. India has remained indifferent towards rectifying its political map that falsely depicts Nepal's Limpiadura, Lipulik and Kalapani regions as Indian territories, despite continued disapproval of the government of Nepal. India not only neglected Nepal's concerns on border encroachment, India went on to inaugurate its road link to Tibet through Lipulik region. Meanwhile, Nepal's northern neighbor China, which had remained silent towards the Indian encroachment, now has spoken on the issue at a time when Nepal has officially incorporated its intruded territories in a newly released political and administrative map. As China has called for sorting out the border dispute through mutual diplomatic efforts, it has raised concerns over China's role and stand regarding the Limpiadura and falls within the tripartite border region. Speaking at regular news conference in Beijing on Tuesday, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Liazan called both Nepal and India to refrain from any unilateral move regarding the border dispute. China has broken its silence now, although the northern neighbor refrained from unveiling its official stand over India's continued encroachment of Nepalese territory for decades. This has raised numerous speculations regarding China's role over the dispute along the tripartite border region. Former Nepalese ambassador to China, Tunka Karki, however, is of the view that China's remarks hints towards the continued Indian encroachment of Nepalese territory in a unilateral fashion rather than anything otherwise.
त्यो एग्रीमेन्ट नेपाली भूमिमा भएको एग्रीमेन्टलाई लिएर भएको त्यो एग्रीमेन्टको बारेमा नेपालले तत्कालै भारत र चीन दुईटै मुलुकसँग चाहिँ प्रोटेस्ट गर्यो। प्रोटेस्ट गर्न साथै चीनले त्यतिखेर नै तपाईहरुसँग भएका प्रमाणहरु यदि सबुत प्रमाणहरु छन् भने हामी त्यसको बारेमा पुनर्विचार गर्न र त्यो हाम्रो पोजिसनलाई करेक्सन गर्न तयार छौं भन्ने कुरो चाहिँ चीनले नेपाललाई रेस्पोन्स तत्कालै हामीले प्रोटेस्ट गर्न साथै प्रोटेस्ट लेटर दिन साथै त्यो रेस्पोन्स गरेको पाइन्छ।
As the tripartite borders between Nepal, China and India are to be sorted out along Limpiadhura region, it is crucial for the representatives of all three nations to negotiate a mutual solution to the border dispute.
भारतीय सेनापतिलाई अगाडि सारेर यो भूमि चाहिँ हाम्रो भनेर घोषणा गर्न पुगे। त्यस सन्दर्भमा त्यति मात्र हैन, भारतीय सेनापतिले त तेस्रो मुलुकको उक्साटमा समेत भन्न पुगे। त्यसपछि यो विवादमा चीनले आफ्नो पोजिसन राखेको हो।
It is indisputable that Kalapani, Limpiadhura and Lipulek falls within Nepal's territory based on the Sugauli Treaty of 1816 and all other succeeding treaties and historical evidences. And moving on, the total number of coronavirus cases in Nepal has climbed to 444 as 10 more individuals tested positive for the virus today. 10 men from Kanchan Kawak rural municipality in Jhapa tested positive for COVID-19 this morning. It's the same place where 5 men had tested positive for the virus yesterday. Meanwhile, 32 individuals, including 13 people from Kapilvastu, 6 from Bake, 6 from Dhankuda, 5 from Jhapa and 1 each from Sunsari and Nawalparasi West had tested positive for the novel coronavirus yesterday. With this, the total number of infected cases in Kapilvastu alone has climbed to 59. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the coronavirus infections have now spread to 38 districts across the country, while 45 among the infected individuals have returned home after recovering from the virus so far. At the Health Ministry's regular press briefing yesterday, Ministry spokesperson Dr. Vikas Devkoda also clarified that although the government has arranged for the public to undergo coronavirus tests on their own by paying certain amounts, the testing fee in this regard has not been fixed. 4 health professionals, a general staff and a relative of a health professional in Dhankuda District Hospital tested positive for coronavirus yesterday. The individuals testing positive for the virus have no travel history since the lockdown. They tested positive despite remaining in the hospital itself, giving way to various speculations. 83 samples were collected from Dhankuda Hospital following the detection of coronavirus in a ladies' health staff on Friday. Among them, results of 65 samples were published with additional 5 positive cases on Tuesday, while the results of remaining 18 are yet to come. According to the sources at Dhankuda District Hospital, there is no travel history of any of the infected individuals after the nationwide lockdown. This has raised questions on how they got infected with the virus, which experts have attributed to slack management and inadequate precautionary measures at the hospital. As the cases of infection in Nepal has been rising alarmingly, the contact tracing of the individuals who had come in contact with the infected at the hospital has started. However, due to lack of adequate human resources and testing equipment, the test of remaining health workers and general staff have failed to move ahead. The delay in contact tracing and test has also increased the risk of further spreading of the infection. And now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here is your question: how should the Nepali nationals rescued from abroad be managed? Your options are option A, quarantine them, option B, local governments should handle, and option C, allow them to self-quarantine. The voting for the question is on tab and AWS. Select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share opinion with us. And it's now time for our special segment, Glorious History.
On 16th of May 1993, Madan Bhandari, a popular political leader, belonging to Nepal's the then CPN-UML, died supposedly in a car accident in Dastunga in Chitwan district. As the incident reported as accident was mysterious without any independent eyewitnesses, his death has been dubbed as an unsolved murder by many politicians and analysts. Among the 3 passengers inside the car, the 2 CPN-UML leaders, Bhandari and Jibraz Asrit, died while the only driver, Amar Lama, survived. Asrit was the chief of the party's organization department, the only survivor of that crash and the only remaining witness of the incident. Driver Amar Lama was murdered 10 years later. A group of unidentified gunmen abducted Lama from the office of Taza Khabar weekly tabloid. He was taken to the southwestern outskirts of Kathmandu and shot dead. The assassins of the murder were never identified. On 2016, Bhandari was posthumously awarded with Nepal Ratnaman Padavi, the highest honor to a Nepali citizen then by the government of Nepal. On 20th of May 1506, the Italian explorer Christopher Columbus died in Valladolid, Spain. Columbus was the first European to explore the Americas since the Viking set up colonies in Greenland and Newfoundland in the 10th century. He explored the West Indies, South America, and Central America, but died a disappointed man, feeling he had been mistreated by his patron, King Ferdinand of Spain. Columbus was likely born in Genoa, Italy in 1451. Little is known of his early life, but he worked as a seaman and then a sailing entrepreneur. He became obsessed with the possibility of pioneering a western sea route to China, India, and the fabled gold and spice islands of Asia. Columbus died without realizing the great scope of his achievement, that he had discovered for Europe the New World, whose riches over the next century would help make Spain the wealthiest and most powerful nation on earth. On 20th of May 1996, in a victory for the gay and lesbian civil rights movement, the US Supreme Court voted 6-3 to strike down an amendment to Colorado's state constitution that would have prevented any city, town, or county in the state from taking any legislative, executive, or judicial action to protect the rights of gays and lesbians. In a ruling authored by Associate Justice Anthony M. Kennedy, the Supreme Court struck down Amendment 2, arguing that the law violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. Although the ruling, authored by a Republican appointee, was cautious in its language, it was applauded as a major civil rights victory that gave gay and lesbian activists their first major constitutional precedents for fighting anti-gay legislation. This is Amit Mackerel for Glorious History and Kantipur News Desk.
And now time for weather update. And that's all for the moment. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KDVSD. Stay home, stay safe, and have a good day.